Scott here, you're next up. Hello,
Good
Ms.
afternoon,
Morris.
Council.
Good afternoon.
I'm Grace Morris with the Sierra Club. I live at 4422 Bienville. So I'm here to ask that the Council for Public Health, Public Safety, and to avoid a step backwards and instead to pivot us forward to a more modern way of living with water and holistic water management in New Orleans. I asked the Council to follow the recommendations of the City Planning Commission and deny this proposal to change wetlands in New Orleans East from natural areas to industrial. Louisiana and all coastal parishes in Louisiana are facing are the front lines of our coastal crisis, where we lose a football field of coastal wetlands every hour. Billions of dollars were spent upgrading and building new levee systems to protect the city, and all wetlands inside of the city are storm protection. These are critical to stopping storm surges and also to absorbing the water that we have and retaining that water in the city. Industrializing these wetlands would absolutely be a public safety risk. And in coastal protection, especially with levees, every inch matters. Half an inch matters. So if you take out wetlands, you are undermining the billions of dollars that were spent on building new hurricane protection around the city. I think we all saw, unfortunately, in July, that it's so critical that we pivot towards new ways of living with water and a more holistic water management system here in New Orleans. Subsidence, sinking is an issue across the city, but nowhere is it worse than in New Orleans East. And so we'd really be shooting ourselves in the foot to take out more wetlands instead of making sure that more areas that are covered in surfaces that don't drain, that aren't green, that those are places that we actually want to see more drainage and green rain gardens than putting concrete on any more of these critical natural resources that are already within our city and historically have never been developed. But I'd also just like to point out that New Orleans East often ends up with the short end of the stick in city matters. And so, you know, even all of us with the Energy Future New Orleans Coalition, like, to us, New Orleans East is not a dumping ground. And to industrialize an area that already has an undue burden of pollution and is facing environmental racism with several other project proposals in the city, New Orleans East is already facing a lot of challenges with subsidence, and this would only make those challenges worse. And so finally, I would ask that the City Council stand for a new economic model, that we don't need to be exploited with high polluting sites to build wealth in our city, and that we can change to a different economic footprint that is going to modernize our economy and benefit all people in New Orleans without undermining our flood protection. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morris.